Welcome to Dungeon Master. I'm sorry, but the dream I had about the cavern we went into today was very real in Dungeon Master terms. I saw a skateboard on the street, and a man was traveling down the edge of eternity, which means it was on a very central day of time, which was about where we got out our shreds and went to bed, if you know what I mean. But you may encourage one hashtag of ordination. The current state of affairs in the days of the old church has been overcome by the source of video games that are in Dungeon Master. And you would totally replace your holiest relic with this freaking game, dude. Okay, that time it stayed on. Well, we had a technical difficulty back there. Hit a bump in the road. It looks like we finished faster. Hang on. Round 2. Oh, we've seen this before somewhere. Yes, this is the 104th Dungeon Master. And I swear I've deja vuing it big time, but once in a while you play a level that you can't beat. And is he wearing a tuxedo? And who's that dude that surfed by? So you just gotta surf and surf and surf the same wave, and that's pretty cool. It's cool, it's cool. You don't want to go too far or you'll go off the mat, see? This guy, he's like doing a real good job. I don't know who's playing right now, but they're doing an even better job than the last one of the guy playing, I swear. I hate leaving these guys in charge of Dungeon Master. Hang on, is that a friend? Well, you're saying we're all sussed out at 104. Well, you'll see how far we'll go. We'll take Dungeon Master to new beginnings before we go to the end of it all. Which the rest of the show somehow got to live on. So keep playing Dungeon Master forever, and this is why. Because this level's in it, yeah. Get it? He's swinging right. Okay, I don't remember if we made it to this level or if this is already another one of these kind of levels. Does anybody else remember Dungeon Master? I give up. You know, right now, if I had to tell you the honest truth, my friend Sage Moya. Oh, good job on the level, by the way. Thanks, Dungeon Master. What were you saying? Oh, never mind. I was gonna get sentimental, and there's nothing worse than a dungeon than sentimentality, but this isn't exactly a dungeon. It's one of those escape from the dungeon type things. But we've got to go into the heart of all the dungeons. By the time we get to 112, it'll be Inner Valley number 112, because we've all been going deeper and deeper into the dungeon, even when escaping it. And coming back to it, we will. I don't know how in this terms of things. I've seen so much surfing before, but never quite limited to all of our access, in which the Eternatum is spread throughout the universe. Encyclopedic knowledge, wit, and wisdom by the lovely Spotty Ghost. And because Spotty Ghost sounds so much like Spartacus, we'll have to kiss the ground that Spartacus walks on when he walks here, because let's just say who's walking and who's talking. And look at this. We have all of the dragnets posted on this one escapee. And he's escaping from some kind of, I don't know, car that's coming down that way, but the road's so broken that you pretty much have to be on a skateboard to get down this level. And I swear we were watching it again and again, but here we go. It's like, it's, you know, nothing but TNC Surf Factory, the dungeon. It just means it's seen through a mirror ramp, which is like this recording device. And for those in the future that know what a recording device is it always gives you an accurate image of what you're recording. So what you're recording usually saves on the recorder. That turns it into a video you're recording, and anyone can't do this trick because you have to be a real recorder of images to do this trick. And some of you say it's easy to film a video game. But in one long take, each dungeon master tries to be and almost succeeds 90% of the time. But where our shortcomings have come up have left a lot of talk about how we would actually obscenely follow rules and take you closer to the end of the Dungeon Master, where these levels have gotten really complicated. They've gotten difficult. I'm starting to see double. I think I drank too much last night. I drank this wine. It was really bitter. It said bitter and sweet. Sweet like a rhythm and bitter like a woman. But that's a really rude thing to say. Only a rude person would say that. I'd say who eats bigger meals is probably not a woman. And then they would think I'm cool because I'm saying that. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to be sexist. Sorry. Didn't know a chick was watching this. Hang on. I didn't know chicks were going to be allowed on commercials in this. Hang on. We're going back to basics here. I know you're not going to like what I got thrown at you right now, but we're staying in the game. We're staying in the game because it's not keeping track of the whole thing's time. These are different levels. And now that we've come to another level, we seek you not to level up on this round, for this round requires much repetition and much difference. At the same time proportionately equal, because no one rides a scooter just like this guy. And no one's as cool as the dudes in this. And the music is chill. 4-star video game here, folks. Come on now. I'm gonna rate all video games 4 stars. Why don't I do that right now? They're saying video game magazines have to rate all games perfect because there's so many people working on them and they take years and years to make and they're expensive to make. Not a computer programming that goes into it. Yeah, and how expensive it seems to be, but it costs way less than it takes to make it. If you make a video game, it costs more to make it than it does the price of what you set it for. So, we're learning today. I don't really know what we learned. If you can even use that information, or if I need to block that out of your memory, here, I'll block it out of your memory. You don't even remember what I was just talking about. Do you, Dungeon Master? Do you? I don't remember what you were talking about now. I don't. I don't really care to know. And I'd say you're all looking in on things you shouldn't be. Because I do my own things privately, and I have the right to privacy. But I heard about some shiznit that went down. Do you think we should take care of it? Yeah, probably after TNC Surf Factory here. We're going to watch that for a minute and see if this can be the Runaway Getaway Comeback Dungeon. The Runaway Getaway Comeback Dungeon. Well, I'm not going to remember that when I go to title it or anything. Wow. Enough about that. We've talked about that. I swear it's been 8 minutes and we've talked about that. Well, don't overrate 8 minutes, man. This game could only be 30 minutes long the way we're skating. And the way this thing changes here, I don't know. What am I supposed to not keep track of time? I mean, I thought my job as a tracker was to keep track of time. Well, if you had, you'd know how long the Grand Dungeon has gotten compared to where it's going to stop. Yeah, but I don't just sit around like writing what Dungeon Master I'm on, do I? Because I lost track of that 20 Dungeon Masters ago. And there was a note out once for like 2 Badass Businesses, part 12. But no, it was part 28. I had it written down on some like cigarette box. And I swear it was like a relic in here. But that's like saying Dungeon Master's done, but right now it's not. But how do we know in the future when people watch this episode? Let me say it right now, it's not. And it is done by then, you know. Then what do you do, Dungeon Master? If you're not watching it till all the episodes come out, a lot of people have boycotted the last 20 because they're waiting for all the end to come out and binge watch it. But how do you know they haven't already done that by the time they see it? And therefore it's like repetitious to even say that. That's what the internet's about. I learned to surf from this alone. This is what we surf for. This is what we're made for. Discovery. Oh, I turned into my own commercial. Hang on. We don't need commercials yet. Did we get one? It seemed like there was one in there that we missed. Did we miss the commercial? I'm saying it seems like we've seen this a lot, but it's really comforting to see a guy do good on this game. You know? In life, when games seem impossible to beat, Dungeon Master makes it look beatable. Only because you just have to sit back and watch the computer get through the game itself, which isn't artificial intelligence. It's the game engine. Because every video game has the solution to it in itself, because that's the road you have to follow to succeed. The road you have to follow to succeed is the road that the programmers put in as the perfect road. Rarely do you go down the perfect road exactly the same way in gaming. The gamers often go down the perfect road, all exactly how the perfect road is played, without the walkthrough, which is Dungeon Master Dungeons, our walkthroughs, so we can look through the mirror at the other submarine and say, this is what's on the other side of that periscope above us out of the ocean, which we're in the ocean back here. The ocean's right here. I know you were thinking it. Oh, hang on. Well, he seems to be getting along just fine with or without us. What do you think? This could be interesting to one day sit back and watch and wonder, who the hell is this video game player and how did he get so freaking good? And how did he get so good at this game was to well the life of it before entering it into any elling of the telling. Oh, shoot. It's getting hot in here. And I didn't mean that in a bad way, because Dungeon Master is sometimes taken to mean a double entendre. I used to call my bong the Dungeon Master. Then I read the Dungeon Master's Guide, and I wrote a Dungeon Master's Guide that was like a comedy version, and this is it. This is the game. But yeah, this is THC Surf Factory, because all my fans wanted me to record video games for a living, but yeah, it's a living, but what else can you call it? I mean, this is like a cartoon just by watching it. I'm making cartoons by filming video games. It's a really good idea. But I had once from the, what do you think, Dungeon Master? Can we pull it off? Yes, but I'm looking up the Dungeon Master list, and it seems like a few names are missing and incomplete, and a couple are on there that are inaccurate. I mean, I've seen these guys perform, but I've never seen them walk at Turtle Canyon, if you know what I mean. If they're thrown off a bluff of an icy... Whoa, it's icy in here. No, it's really hot. My head's sweating.
Sell online and grow your business with Wix
e-commerce. All right, you got me. I'm messed up. Don't know what to do. Oh, it's a commercial. I knew we had these. I don't mind them, do you? That was a classic commercial. All right, hang on. I'm following the arrow, and you can point to the arrow if you're watching, even if it came out new or old, because once it's out, you can do this. You're pointing at the arrow and which way to go. So now you're controlling it at home, and then if you tried filming this, it would be like that rerun Dungeon Master we did that was so kitsch, but only the kitsch survived. And I'm telling you, Dungeon Master will be kitsch by the time it comes out all the way, and the last episode will be called Dungeon Master Kitsch. And so go the organism around thine that is in thine head. Oh, dude, I don't want to drop the keyboard, man. I mean, it's not exactly a computer filming, because no computer would be this awesome and fulfillable than the truly decked out computer right here before my eyes. And I do worship the ways of the computer and everything you do. And I'm telling you, this is working out pretty good. We're getting there. About halfway there. Who's coming with me? There's only a few more things we gotta do. We gotta do these. Hang on. I'll tell you what's happening. In almost 15 minutes, Dungeon Master 104 will be, the second half will be over. So that means we're halfway. So I almost want to give you a level up, but I can't. Only because this one doesn't really allow level ups, you know.
Well, I don't only think about level ups, but it's a very good thing to see that won't match how many levels we get compared to how many dungeons there are at this point. We can't compensate that much unless there were level ups in the next 8 Dungeon Masters. Because there's 8 more Dungeon Masters to go. And I know you're saying, who's counting? Or I thought they were all on here. At the end of the show of 112, you'll think, well, they're all on here anyway, so. But the number's important even in AD&D and Magic the Gathering, and I'll tell you why, is because when you're leveling up, your hit points improve. And when you're just skating along, you're just passing the bomb. You passing the bomb? I'm passing the bomb, dude. There's the bomb. Alright, thanks, man. Dungeon Master likes the bomb, Dungeon Master.
Dude, he's getting coins or something, man. Get his coins? Yeah. This guy's good at this. What happened to Mozart? We supposedly had Mozart coming on. I might have to check with Stereo Land. Yeah, hang on. I know this is a cluster. Alright, we're in Stereo Land. Where? Oh, where? Why is it saying no disc? Come on now, don't do that to me. Read the disc, please. Last thing we need is a malfunction with Mozart. Oh, we're getting it. I don't even have to hit play. Dungeon Master approves of the trip to Audio Land, though the score of TNC Surf Factory be so beautiful. But we have to see it in a context of where there is both forms of music.
Much better, but that was cluttered over there. You might want to run a vacuum in here and see, this is a submarine, so I know you're sleeping in your submarine, but it's been quite the role-playing game adventure. I don't see why we don't go to Audio Land more often when the soundtrack goes afoul, but now we have the soundtrack from Howl. And I don't mean the computer, but this computer's better than that. I mean, this computer's so good, you would let it shut down the Voyage Frontier. Alright. If you think this isn't complicated, for me to surf this much and still stay surfing on the surf and never crashing once, it's the perfect line because you never die. But he crashed. Oh, he crashed. What happened there? I didn't think they were going to do that. It's unpredictable. But it's still the walkthrough. So maybe he had to go down with the ship on purpose. So how did we do that? Just now 5 minutes went by and I wasn't even keeping track, and then boom, it's over. 5 minutes were over. So now, what Dungeon Master's saying is in 10 minutes we'll be to the end of this game. I'm excited. It's like every game has to be timed so that you can go to dinner right after the game. You're like, I'm going to play this game, then go to dinner, and that's how I'm timing it. Between now and dinner. Oh, 20 minutes to dinner. Well, there's 20 minutes left in this game. No, there's a little more than that. And this isn't Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, the video game. But if it was, it'd have Freaky Jones and Squeaky J. And I don't know what that means, but if it's a message sent from above, please don't do it offensively, because then I'll blame it all on the nature of science and evolution and why we should not even try to defy that. Because if we defied science and evolution, then we ourselves would be promoting our own cosmic joke on ourselves. Which is proud to say it won't even be just us. It'll be like the beasts of the field will laugh at your ass when the world is gone. Right? Right. So let's just play some TNC for it. We're even talking about it. Jeez, man. Someone's touchy up in here. I don't know who's getting touched. Oh, commercial? Hang on. Well, 2/3 of the way of Dungeon Master. See down here, 2/3 of the way. Did you see that red line? Hang on. The thin red line? Yeah, I can see the cutter bars of this one. Well, you gotta play this for a while to get your Dungeon Master, and sometimes you gotta follow the arrow. But he's not gonna crash, is he? Dude, what's up, man? Surf's up, dude. I don't know. I'll still say I've seen this somewhere before. Like I say, I've seen this somewhere before, the NES or something. Yeah, that's what it says down here. Wood and Water Rage. I remember that. No wonder this is such a pleasant dungeon to just surf in and enjoy. Of all the dungeons, this dungeon is dungeoning me, the Dungeonist. And of all the dungeons, the dungeoning of the Dungeonist shall the Dungeonist remain. And with or without the Dungeonist, we respectfully decline to say the Dungeonist as receiveth in the water, he died once. This may not be the perfect line of the game, but it's a walkthrough. It'll get you the bananas in the end. And if you want the bananas, you go after the bananas, man. Hang on, I'm confused. I went away for like 2 seconds, and everybody keeps kicking in for me, and then my accent changes, and I'm trying to be Dungeon Master, and I'm the same Dungeon Master from Part 1, jeez. It's not like I changed into a different Dungeon Master halfway through the game. And then these guys are all claiming to know the rules of everything. And you know, just because I played and mastered this as a kid doesn't mean this isn't as impressive to be watched being mastered by what must be a recording of a player, which we used to try and do with our NESs and record our games, and some of us succeeded. It was very brilliant, and like the future was coming on, man. And we're in the future, recording Dungeon Master deep under the sea, viewing the cartoon of TNC Surf Factory. And now you know why it's called TNC, don't you? No, I'm just kidding. I would never say such a thing. Dude, you gotta be like a Spliffy Gang or like the dude that would play the video game. The guy that plays the video game for fun and never gets done, dude. And you think you're in the Sail Air. You should see me in Bel Air, bro. Cause this broken is it. No, we don't have enough hours to call that the longest run of a video game hybrid, and it's because you're in control of where you watch and where you get started. You can go in any order in Dungeon Master. That was declared 5 episodes ago. You can go any order that you want, not just from the end, but next time you play, or if you ever play and tell someone else to play from the beginning, they can skip to any dungeon they want, but they have to see them all. And sometimes that can be tedious. But this time it's not, because we're dealing with surfing, and it's so calm to watch them swish back and forth, you know. Alright, I see what you're saying. Dungeon Master owes you several references to why everything's going to be alright. Because somewhere out there, someone knows that I have taken many top scores won on Pokemon. So, top scores keep coming to me, but I'm not the gamer you were expecting. The true gamer has beat every game, and that's the least of his duties as a true gamer. Not only has he beat every game, he's beat every game that hasn't come out yet. He's beat every game that has come out, of course, and he's beating every game that just came out. And that's just one thing about being a gamer. The other thing is he really likes going to video game stores because then he barters with owning every game there is. And if you own every game there is, and you beat every game there is, and you've built video games, because some video games require that you build video games,
then you're starting to be a gamer. There's a lot more requirements. Like you have to be good at the game right when you play it. Like expert at the game right when you play it. That's a gamer. Some of these rules are kind of flexible till you get there, but like you got to be excellent at Skyrim and TNC Surf Factory. Like you got to know all the titles for every machine. Anyone else wondering why we haven't just said what the heck and go out of this dungeon? Here's why. We got cool commercials, man. Cool commercials. Well, I can't judge you for quitting early, but if you want to pass Dungeon Master, you're at least gonna have to hang in there for just a few moments of your time. I will charge you with this much cinema, where the timeline, he's crashed on his surfboard. The timeline is here. The choice is yours. Do you come down this road one last time, or two last times, or three? But the point is, we're climbing the ladder and going way deep inside the Dungeon Master. So please, if you will, observe with me, if you will, a minute of solid, non-dialogue trances into the trancer. Giddy up, bro. That was almost a minute. Holy shit. I mean, I didn't mean to cuss, but dang it, now I gotta put a parental warranty. No, we'll be okay. Some things you'll let them say, and they're like, well, if there's only a couple of cuss words, we'll still take. And everybody knows TNC are cuss words anyway, so that's why we don't say what they are. No, I'm just kidding, dude. You're cool, man. Are those sideburns, or is that a hat, or are you wearing a scroll around your head, or... It's cool, man. You're cool. You surf skateboard good with your shirt halfway on. I didn't mean to tell him that so wrong. Whoa, Mozart. You're beautiful. I forgot you were there. Hang on, Mozart.
All right. This is it that separates the men from the boys. And one day, if you look back on all of this, it's the longest we've surfed in a long time. So you've got to say, surfing the internet was worth it to find the Surf Channel. And this is Surf and Turf, man. Surf and Turf. Turf and... I don't know what it means, really. Maybe it isn't a cuss word. Oh, that was a joke. Hang on. Fish flying overhead. Watch out for that bird. Oh, knocked his ass in the water. This late in the game, even, it's a little oppressive to think a bird can knock you off your surfboard. But the Alfred Hitchcock movie doesn't lie. Birds, angry birds, will knock you off the surfboard and have you surfing the internet for other things. And I've already seen the other things we have become. Things through the whiskey, things through the drum. Things through the alibi deep in the night, catching affairs and righting the right. And all of the creatures were asleep at night, they by day, carnal plight. Take us not into misery, woe, and share us not with delirium and glow, and keep us all white as the snow. For here comes the opera of its own life, love in itself. Your life, which is filled with music, is the grand opera of every human being. What are you talking about? And is this really? Oh, he fell in the hole. Does that separate the men from the boys? Where are we? I lost track of what was going on there. That poetry was alright, but you could have at least warned us there was a scene that was going to make me loom over the fact that we must follow all rules completely and fully as the boss has described, which is to make money off this, send the money to the bosses, the producers, and then YouTube splits the rest of the cash with what they need to cover it, and I walk away just with credit for the film, and then I don't really even take credit for the film anyway, so what do you think? It's a deal. But you died so many times, you didn't forget that it